So I'm gonna yap about the past 2 years of my education, aka my A-levels, how they've been going, about my uni, and meanwhile you're gonna watch me build a honey farm. I'm gonna be shifting quite a lot of blame onto other people here, but I will take some accountability for my poor choices. So the first thing I'm gonna do is talk about the choices per subject. So in A-levels you pick three topics, well, three subjects, and an extracurricular. In my school, we had two choices. You could do an EPQ or you could do Young Enterprise. Young Enterprise, you basically make your own company with a group of your friends or whatever class. And in EPQ, you basically make a presentation, you research topic, and then you present it. Now, when we were being given the assembly to make this choice, one thing they cleverly omitted is the fact that you get UCAS points for doing EPQ, meaning the uni will not require as high grades when you apply. They didn't tell me that, so I picked, I want to be with my friends. Let's do Young Enterprise. So that was my first mistake. My second mistake was picking statistics over mathematics. So basically, I finished GCSE maths with a 6. Just about 7, but still a 6. Doesn't matter how close you were to a 7, you didn't get a 7. Now, our requirement at school was, get a 6, get into maths. But so many people were picking maths, there weren't enough people in statistics. I didn't know that at the time. I thought, well, these two things are equal. And the teachers kept assuring me, yeah, these are exactly the same. The uni accepts my language is dying here. Accepts them exactly the same. Post-editing fact? Post-A-level fact? No, they don't. Every single uni thing says maths A-level required. There's not a word about statistics. Matter of fact, it's such a niche degree, well, A-level option, only about 500 people a year take it in the entirety of the UK, out of hundreds of thousands of students, less than 1,000. That's how small it is. Anyway, I still did statistics. I did Young Enterprise, missed out on EPQ, so missed out on UCAS points, and missed out on a bunch of unis because I don't have maths. Anyway, a couple months come and go, and I'm orienting myself on quantity surveying now because, that's the only thing this stats A level is useful for. You do a lot of statistics in quantity surveying, you basically help constructing firms find out prices and track stuff, all the usual stuff, yeah. And the thing is, you need to do work experience in year 12. But before this point, I've been orienting myself completely on computer science. So all of my credentials, all of my projects, absolutely everything, that's computer science. Now, in hindsight, it might be a bit of an oversight on my part, orienting myself 100% on computer science. But anyway, I have to pick a work experience option. And no quantity surveying thing takes me because what do you do with a guy that's been doing computers his whole life and has never touched construction? You don't do much with him. Basically, I get my work experience. I'm gonna flex a bit here. It was at Microsoft. Yes, it's cool, it's nice, but it was only for about a week. But we did quite a lot of good stuff there, a bit of OVMM, and we practiced doing Markov chains, a lot of interesting programming. So I've done my work experience now, and year 12 just flies by. Now it's time for the beginning of year 13 mock exams. This is what they will base your predicted grades on. So obviously, you gotta study for it. Now, for these mock exams, I actually think I did quite well. I mean, my predicted grades were in the A's and B's. But one thing you want to know about statistics is all the questions there are 12 markers or 2 markers. So you really got to do well on the 12 markers, but there's 0 follow-through marks. So if you get something wrong in the first part of the question, well, lightly speaking, you're screwed. And we did 3 papers. In those mock exams, I got an A, a B, and a U. Just because on the U paper, I got 2 of the questions wrong. That just shows I made 2 mistakes, and the whole paper is fucked. There's nothing I can do about it. Anyway, about November, December time, you're applying to uni, UCAS, you're applying to all the different things, making a personal statement. I'm still trying to get into project management or quantity surveying because you look at uni degrees, the bachelor's, and for computer science, literally every single one says you gotta have maths. And I also was considering data science to go into actuary science, like insurance and stuff. But it's everything wants maths. And when you message them, they say, well, sorry, but stats isn't the same as maths. Even though you do all the mechanics in physics, the stats part of maths, I do it in stats, and the pure I know, but like, nah, sorry, we can't do that. So I just keep on applying to all the different apprenticeships, all the different things I can find, mostly degree apprenticeships, and doing all these assessment centers, all these online stuff, interviews, but I still haven't got a single hour. So one thing I do is I still have to apply in UCAS. So I just chuck some applications out like Nottingham, York, Sheffield, the usual, all of them for data science, because if you do data science, then you just take an exam to do actuary science. And for data science, I thought that it would be more likely to take me than computer science. As it turns out, no. They all of them replied to my offers, like gave me conditional offers for computer science. Every single one, like Newcastle, Nottingham, everybody gave me computer science. Not only Sheffield offered data science, but it was like a weird data science. It wasn't from the School of Mathematics. It was from the School of Social Sciences or something, which isn't horrible, but yeah, that's probably a bare minimum option, which I wasn't really considering. But still Nottingham, it's fine. It's definitely not the worst uni because like it's still top 100 world uni, top 20 UK uni, so it's still fine. Now, one thing you do need to know, during this entire time, my school attendance is around 65% at best at months. I'm missing school, my health is horrible, and I'm doing most of my studying at home. Like, I'll go to school, I'll hear about a topic, and I'll be thinking, well, this guy explains it quite poorly, so I have to go home and do double the amount of work you usually need to do just to learn the topic by myself to prepare, like, for exams. No, I'm running critically low on footage, so I'm just going to talk about the other stuff in other videos. Basically, what you need to know, January mocks, I did quite horrible. It's like BBC, something around that area, well below my predicted grades. So now I'm sort of panicking, studying more, trying to do stuff. But I'm also not really doing that. I went on a trip in East Germany, having some time off. And dumb thing to do in hindsight, very, very dumb. I post some stuff on Fiverr, saying I will tutor you, drop me an order, and I completely forgot about it. That happened in like mid-April. Comes around not March, May, June, sort of that time. I do my first two exams, and then I get these amazing, amazing notifications. Yo, can you tutor me in English? Except it wasn't tutor, it was doubling as a therapist for speech blocking. I'm totally gonna make another video on that if I don't forget the password to my YouTube channel like I did for the past year. Basically, now I'm doubling tutoring and I'm doubling exams. I'm doing my exams, and I also was a genius. I applied to apprenticeships in IT. I applied for network engineering at BT. Now I have an offer for, come to our assessment center. It's the final stage assessment center for, the network engineering apprenticeship. But I also have the option to go to uni because absolutely no project management thing ever took me past the assessment center stage gave me an offer. So now, in about half a week, I'm off to an assessment center. After that, uni tours. I'm going to be updating you on my life. Hopefully about once a month. I don't know. Subscribe.